Where we live, most of the world's peoples have always lived. An area of great cultures, great ideas, great accomplishments. Today, making fresh advances in many fields, we are moving forward in an area of action. Australia, continent of the unbounded future, where much of the national wealth has always been sheep.
10,000 sheep are waiting to be shorn down close and neat, and the boy will sweep the locks away from round the ringer's feet. They'll class it and they'll bale it so the auction sale it sees, and men from all the lands on earth will bid for the golden fleece.
Wollongong Homestead, New South Wales, and Mr. John Watson, managing director of this family-owned sheep property. Merinos, golden fleece, the finest spinning quality in the world. So precious that to let a live merino out of Australia is a criminal offense. At Wollongong, hard work and scientific search has turned unyielding land into pastures of bounty. Wollongong has made itself a model property where new approaches to grazing and management techniques have steadily increased the annual wool yield. Like all modern sheepmen, Wollongong's owner and his overseer, Brian Pearson, are farmer, breeder, businessman in one. Young management trainees are always encouraged to try their skill. Sometimes, techniques turn out to be more difficult than they appear, but learning is part of the job. Every sheep property has one exciting area of action, the shearing shed.
All among the wool, boys, all among the wool. Keep your blade full, boys, keep your blade full. I can do a respectable tally myself whenever I like to try. They know me round the country as Flash Jack from Gundagai. I pinched them with the wool bleeds and I brushed with bebos too. Shaved them in the grease, lads, with the grass seed showing through. But I never slummed a pen, me lads, whatever it might contain, when shearing for old Tom Patterson on the One Tree Plain. Hey, all among the wool, boys, all among the wool.
Key man in the shed, the classifier. He classes the fleece by length and fineness of fiber, and so measures a year of the grower's skill and effort. Classed, baled, weighed, and branded. Official tallies for the wool book. In the morning room of the homestead, a pot of tea is welcome after a long day. Yet there's paperwork still. One last conference for Brian and the owners. Then up early tomorrow to follow the wool into Sydney for the auction. And, as it turns out, to order a new cream pitcher. In the storerooms of the great Sydney brokerages, wool buyers of the world gather to look over the opened bales. The wool growers are there to look over the buyers. Prize lots are noted on the margins of catalogs, and catalogs become the key to the auction. 100,000 bales of wool, each bale classed, recorded, identified by special symbols, to speed the always frantic pace of the bidding.
403, 5, 105, Akira.
500 bales go under the hammer every hour.
81 a half is hard Australia.
The excitement mounts, and so do the sales.
82 pence, 1, 3 pence, 1, half, 3 drapers.
Time and accuracy are of prime importance. Brokerage houses rapidly convert auction sales to summary form. Like a magnet, the familiar Metropole Hotel attracts sheepmen. For the growers, the moment of relaxation, a chance to renew old friendships. For the brokerages, a halfway point, time to rush their sales data across the city to be processed with high-speed accuracy. While sheepmen compare growing flocks and families, computers go to work. As evening wears on, the humans tire. The machines do not. By early morning, 200,000 separate items have been summarized. Value of wool sold tallied at £3.5 million. Grading, auction, printed results have run full circle in 24 hours. Service, keystone of the wool brokerage house. Get it in, sell it, let the growers get back to their sheep. A busy life, a good life. In Australia, center of wool production for the world. Early morning, the island of Taiwan. To heaven, to home, to his ancestors. His name is Su. He is 63 years old. He lives in a small house which he shares with his 32 descendants. A small place, but his own. No one to boss him, but his grandchildren, many of whom attend the new government school across the road. Su grows sugarcane for sale to a nearby mill. Another farmer, Lee. His daughter-in-law teaches Su's grandchildren at the new school. Lee and Su are typically individual, each with his own way of life. Yet sugarcane binds their lives together, as it does the rest of the thousands of independent farmers who work the fertile countryside. A common dream, a good crop, so they can buy more land. Meanwhile, they all work and can afford small trees, and perhaps an extra water buffalo. From everywhere on the island, each farmer's harvest is sent to the great mills, every shipment numbered and accounted for. Taiwan is the home of the world's largest sugar corporation, with mills that can grind nearly 58,000 tons of sugar a day. More than 1 in 10 of the island's inhabitants depend on sugar for their livelihood. Sugar exports account for 60% of Taiwan's total foreign exchange. With constant improvement of cane growing techniques, modernized equipment, and careful management, Taiwan's annual sugar output is steadily on the climb. From the corporation's 25 mills that march from the center of the island to its southernmost end comes a steady flow of centrifugal sugar, that is, both raw sugar and white. In recent years, the island's product, because of its purity, has found increasing customers among the major sugar-consuming countries of the area. Without exaggeration, this developing industry is one of modern Asia's biggest success stories. Built as it is on the effort of 150,000 contract farmers, the world's largest sugar corporation piles up mountains of paperwork. Since sugar matures only once each 15 months, record keeping is long-term and complex. The sugar mills advance low-interest loans for extra help, fertilizers, and equipment. These transactions go on the farmer's account, along with total crop, selling price, and his share of profit, plus how much sugar he has left to sell in the local market. To save valuable space, time, and money, new ways of processing records have been found. A means to handle complicated bookkeeping details in days instead of months, so that nothing will hold up delivery of sugar to the market. That market is a large part of the world. Every season, nearly 800,000 metric tons of sugar is bagged and transported to the docks of Kaohsiung for export. The mills deliver their sugar, and through modern business techniques, keep paperwork at a minimum, so that farmers Sue and Lee, and the thousands like them, receive their statements and their money on time. Jute fibers, a commodity which India supplies to the world. A generous plant from which grows an industry centered in the delta region of Bengal. Jute stalks are magic sticks from which come fibers of remarkable strength and usefulness. So useful that this slender plant has, over the years, come to play a leading part in the economy of northeast India. At community collection depots which dot the countryside, the stripped fibers are dried in the Indian sun. Lashed into bales, they are forwarded to a mill, where jute becomes yarn, to be woven into a variety of products: bags, canvas, and carpet backing to circle the globe. This is an industry determined to maintain leadership by adopting new methods and by finding new uses in a market grown increasingly competitive. It is an industry on which much depends, vital to the growth of the country's international trade, vital to the destiny of some 10 million hard-working Indians, whose livelihood is literally interwoven with jute. The huge mills operate on a heavy schedule, 3 shifts a day, 7 days a week. Many processes stand between the raw fiber and the end product. Many processes and a great quantity of machinery before the strong fibers are finally twisted into stronger yarn. A new phase begins. Many more machines on the line to be watched and serviced as yarn moves forward to the looms. many machines, 1,500 looms. Breakdowns are inevitable. Suppose replacement parts were not immediately at hand. Production stopped. Wasted time. Lost time. It must never happen. And it needn't. Inventory details for 30,000 separate parts have been taken over by business machines, which give warning of shortages before they occur. Replacement parts can be located within minutes in any mill. A total program, so production never falters. Using modern business methods to solve problems of inventory, together with payroll and accounting, is just one part of a long-range program of modernization. To meet increasing competition, the mills have set rigid quality control procedures for themselves, and at the industry's own research institute, quality control becomes a science. Experiments to improve the natural characteristics of jute fiber may open entirely new avenues for the decorative use of gaily colored jute fabrics for homes and offices. Beauty backed by strength. Supported solely by industry funds, this forward-looking center and its dedicated scientists are seeking a new future for jute. From the busy mills of India to far ports of call go today's end products: the bags, the canvas, the long rolls of carpet backing. Flexible, versatile jute, destined for the great cargo ships of many nations. From the magic stick, magic fibers, gift from India to the world. From the 13th century, Nagoya has been a pottery and porcelain center of Japan. Today, an honored art is big business. Ceramics have helped Nagoya become the nation's third most prosperous city. The Noritake Company pioneered the use of advanced business methods in Japan more than 40 years ago. Today, while a skilled artisan perforates a teapot, a skilled office worker punches production control cards. Efficient teamwork means a more profitable business. Application of the latest computer technology to traditional craftsmanship helps make Noritake the world's foremost producer of dinnerware. Every production step is programmed and controlled by number, an efficient system that makes it possible to produce any one of Noritake's thousands of shapes and patterns for any customer at any time. For instance, an order for one cream pitcher, shattered in distant Australia. Without interrupting the regular mass production schedule, the single replacement item is put in work and takes shape flawlessly, all according to number, from among possible combinations of over 400 shapes and more than 3,000 patterns. In the midst of the day's smooth-flowing production run, one piece ordered by number for an Australian customer. Noritake's advanced business procedures result in an output of over 20,000 complete sets of dinnerware per month. When it finally takes its place alongside the thousands of other items turned out this day, the pitcher for Australia, in itself, symbolizes a minor miracle of production control. Japan has always been a land of contrast. Center of heavy industry for all of Asia, it is also the home of countless one-man enterprises. Millions of craftsmen contributing to Japan's age-old reputation for artistry, turning out delicate cloisonné, jade, ivory, and masterful lacquerware. In both the social and financial structure of Japan, these millions of small businessmen share importance with those of the great corporations. Because so much capital originates in bank loans, it is vital that banking procedures be streamlined. Individual transactions of the cloisonné and lacquerware artisans, each deposit or withdrawal, however small, are recorded and forwarded without delay to Japan's financial center, the Marunouchi district of Tokyo, where the nation's banks have established their main offices. Tokyo headquarter banks are unique, beautiful, and models of efficiency. The vast network of branches that a Japanese bank serves may be scattered over every corner of the islands. To the transactions of the parent bank are added all the data from the various branches by teletype and fast courier pouch, so that records can be summarized on a daily basis. This complexity means paperwork that threatens to mount as high as famous Mount Fuji, and only the most efficient business procedures are equal to cope with it. Some banks find it necessary to process 60,000 individual transactions a day to keep the flow of information accurate and immediate for study by top management, and there's no end in sight. Banks that today serve as 1 million accounts expect to add 1 million new accounts each year for the next 4 years. The economic growth of Japan has been the most spectacular in recent history, a fine example of what a system of free economy can accomplish with wise planning, determination, and hard work. Japanese bankers are forward-looking men. They make it their responsibility to visit plants throughout the world where they can observe the manufacture of new model equipment, learn about new developments, on a constant search for the latest advances in business technology. Not content with knowing what a business machine can do, but also how and why. At home and abroad, they pursue new ideas. They know that every speed up in banking procedures will benefit not only big business and heavy industry, but equally important, the millions of small and very small depositors. As each citizen makes his money available for fresh enterprises, people in every walk of life are better able to produce, to purchase, to enjoy the basics that make living worthwhile, and make their individual contributions to an expanding, colorful area of action we know as New Japan. The Temple of the Dawn gives quiet welcome to the sun. Thailand, where many spend their lives in the peacefulness of prayer. Yet ancient Bangkok is the center for an activity which may change the way of life of the entire Eastern Pacific. And this young woman is part of that grand design. people whose work is reaching into the future of a region that extends for thousands of miles in all directions from where she lives. While she is very much a part of her own culture, her thoughts and interests span a great many other countries as well as her own. Cafe, Economic Commission for Asia and the Far East. Here, men of good faith and many faiths gather to lay the foundations for United Nations projects to revolutionize agriculture, harness rivers, map trade routes, and in general promote further economic development of their part of the world. This young woman is Miss Chachaverin, chief of her section in a statistical office of ECAFE. Together with her assistants, she is responsible for programming computer instructions for the retrieval of vital UN data and information. The Thai National Statistical Office has made its computer system available to ECAFE on a part-time basis. For the first time in this area, it has become feasible to collect information in a dozen languages and, through the use of computers, standardize the data in accurate statistical form. Currently, Miss Chachaverin is compiling facts and figures for reports that will be used as platforms of action at international trade branch sessions. These reports are compendiums of important information for continuing studies on the wool industry of Australia, the jute industry of India, the sugar industry of Taiwan, and 1,000 particulars on the trading habits of more than half of the world's population. Never before have the countries of this vast and important region gathered together for systematic analysis of their common economic problems. In the hands of these UN members, trade reports become building blocks in the structure of hope for lasting world peace through world trade. In a quiet area of action, a grand design for economic strength and stability in the vast region of the world known as Asia Pacific. Trade, a fountainhead of progress. New ways, many nations. One world, one future. Man helping man.